A very important aspect of genre analysis is knowing and explaining the social and cultural context of a genre. Every genre has a certain social and cultural context in which it is used more frequently than others. And therefore, it is very important to examine whenever we conduct a genre analysis of a text to see in which socio-cultural context and realities this can be presented. And these socio-cultural context may involve various factors in various situations in relation to various texts we are investigating. For example, in case of written text, there may be some factors which needs to be kept in mind. For example, the setting in which the text has been written, focus and perspective of the text, the target audience, purpose of the text, background knowledge and values and beliefs this piece of text deals with. There can be many other. In order to elaborate this further, here I would present in front of you context analysis of thesis and dissertations which are produced in a university or in any higher education institution. For example, if we just look at setting of such a text, we will see that the setting would include the university or college itself where the text has been or the thesis has been produced. Level of the study, does that thesis or dissertation belongs to master's, MPhil or PhD study? We all know who deal with higher education that a master's thesis would have different requirements in every sphere of relevance, whereas a PhD would have a very different requirements ranging from length to the quality of work. Then area of study, is it a general theoretical area or is it a hard area, practical area? So we or applied area, we need to understand the area of study as a case of setting for for such a study. Then focus and perspective of the text could be related to its method of investigation, maybe qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method, and it would also focus on the claims made by the researcher that he would achieve this kind of significance, this kind of academic or social purpose by conducting this study. Then the faculty's views about a good research, and are those views are considered by the researcher or the student while conducting that research. And what is the purpose of a context of a text or a thesis? In here, the example I'm explaining, the text means thesis actually. Is that thesis or dissertation is being written to solve a problem, to answer a particular question in the society, to display knowledge and understanding, to seek admission, to convince a reader, or could be any other. There are certain assignments or theses which are written to seek admission in further studies also. Then what is the role of audience and what may possibly be their purpose in reading that particular dissertation? This would help us to judge the quality of that research also, but this may include primary readership of the examiner or the secondary readership of the supervisor. Also, there may be other readers which the researcher himself wants to share his work with. How readers will react to what they read, the criteria they will use for assessing the text. So we may have some kind of idea in the beginning that what kind of expectations readers would have from the text and how would they interact with that text, and what role is it a very active role, readers response would be taken seriously, or it would be taken for granted, or their response is just a kind of just a common practice, or would come later where it may not be included in the text. There would be so many aspects of their responses which needs to keep kept in mind. Then the relationship between writers and readers of the text is also very important. Student writing for experts, for admission, or for any other area of study, for primary readership or secondary readership, that's also very important to be known or analyzed. Then expectations, conventions, a requirement for the text. What kind of requirements, both technical requirements and social requirements, are related to a text. In case of the example we are just presenting here of dissertations and thesis, this may involve a thorough and critical appraisal of relevant literature. A researcher writing a good thesis should include a critical appraisal of already produced literature. Then a clearly defined and comprehensive investigation of the research topic. Then appropriate use of research methods and techniques to conduct a study. This might also include researchers' ability to interpret results and develop certain conclusions and also relate them to previous studies. Then there should be some originality and contribution to the already existing knowledge. And we can also expect some kind of scholarly quality and standard of presentation. Then there should be reasonable grammatical or linguistic accuracy in the text also. And there should be certain expectations related to organization also, and they would include what a typical chapter includes, and that might vary from context to context or from university to university. The amount of variation allowed by the university or the institution, and university's formal submission requirements. Every university puts in front of a student certain requirements which needs to be fulfilled before a certain academic work or thesis is submitted for final assessment. And then there could be some background knowledge, values, and understandings also. It is assumed that students will share their readers what is important for their readers and what is not important for the readers. What issues students should address, what boundaries students can cross and what they cannot. And then it's the relationship with other texts also. And in this case, a thesis might include how the relationship between the present research and other people's research on the topic can be established. And while doing that, a researcher can produce an interesting explanation or discussion of his findings. But one should be careful while doing that he or she should be mindful of the difference between reporting and plagiarizing. If you do not give due credit to the person you are reporting, you are actually committing plagiarizing, which is a very serious crime in academic world. So while you report others' works, keep this distinction in mind. But all these things do include the identification of a proper genre analysis. So a proper genre analysis, a detailed genre analysis cannot be conducted without a genuine realization of the social and cultural context in which a certain text has been produced.